The economic challenges in Zimbabwe caused by the shrinking fiscal space have resulted in very poor public service delivery. This has negatively impacted fundamental rights such as access to water, sanitation, and hygiene, commonly referred to as WASH.
So when you look at the WASH sector as a whole in the country, we have had significant issues around chronic infrastructure decay. We've also had rapid epidemics. Every other year, we seem to be facing the same challenges. It's the same diseases. We are at risk of the typhoids, we're at risk of cholera, we have malaria epidemics even.
These outbreaks impact livelihoods, with the most affected being women and children living in high-density suburbs and peri-urban areas around cities such as Harare, where service delivery is low. In looking at how to build community resilience to disasters, Oxfam, with support from the United States Office of Foreign Disaster Assistance, OFDA, embarked on a project looking at promoting market-based response to emergencies through WASH market mapping and analysis, which was implemented in several countries, including Zimbabwe.
When the Urban WASH project actually began, it was very comprehensive in that it started with a scoping study, which sort of informed us on the key players that are in the sector that can actually be used or roped in to map out a framework or a preparedness plan that actually speaks to the real issues that are in the country. And it also then helped us to unpack the market players that can actually be brought to the fore to help us avert the crisis.
With traditional interventions, what we'd do is we'd come in with a lot of bags of meal, would come up with a lot of these, non-food items, without taking note of the impact it has on the markets. For example, you've got your small-scale traders, you've got your local actors who should, in any event, be able to provide these necessities without a lot of external support in normal circumstances. So what we have found with this project, what it has done is it has allowed us to invest time in building capacities and competence of local actors.
One of the interventions that Oxfam then focused on was working with local market actors, both upstream and lowstream, to facilitate access to household water treatment chemicals to communities in the target areas.
Oxfam yakatibatsira panyaya yewater guard, ikatibatsira nema-inline chlorinators. Ma-inline chlorinators iwayo akatibatsira zvikuru nenyaya yekuti zvino vanhu vedu vakuwana mvura yakashambidzika.
We have been able to lead the Harare provincial structures for disasters because of this project. So this is also positive in that when you lead, you also influence from within in terms of the adoption of these new methods on markets for WASH.
Other notable impacts have been on improving health, livelihoods, and community relationships.
Zvakati totiboosta kunyenge nebusiness redu one tikakwanisa kuvhura another shop through this program. Takakwanisa futi kuva neukama hwakasimba nema-customers. Isusu tiri kure nekutauni, muno mumashops muno mazhinji achona angasina water guard. Kuti uende kutauni kunoda imwe mari, ende takabudisa mari dzakawanda kuti tirapise vana nekuda kwemidumbu.
Working with local market actors is a major sustainability strategy in this project. Small business owners have realized a lucrative business opportunity in stocking water purifying chemicals like WaterGuard. These small business players are even actively promoting the WASH initiatives, unlike where donors just donate goods without enabling the receivers to sustain themselves. Other local actors like the City Council and other community groups have also been naturally involved, and this has resulted in a private-public partnership local response to the problem.
Oxfam is complementing the government efforts. If you're aware of the 10-point plans, one of them is the three P's, public-private partnership, and I think Oxfam is in the right track on that one. In Zimbabwe, we've got the Zima set, and the programs that Oxfam is doing, they're also in line with the objectives of the Zima set.
We obviously know that the private sector has a vital role to play in the work that we do in general, but in WASH emergencies in particular. And so I think there's probably a lot more work that we can do in terms of scoping the capacity for the private sector to respond, looking at communities' willingness and ability to pay for some of these services.
People now realize that they don't need to just get things for free. They also need to support their local economies so that they can also grow their local economies. They also need to be able to be as first-line responders, to be able to go on the market when there's cholera, go on the market, buy your water guard or your aqua tabs if they are available on the market, and be able to be safe from the impact of those hazards.
Several key lessons have been garnered from this project, and these will help inform how market-based approaches can be effectively utilized in future emergency response and risk reduction interventions. The following are some of the areas that Oxfam will be following on based on the learning from this project. Advocacy for improved emergency preparedness with requisite resourcing for the local authorities. Increased capacity building on market analysis and market-based approaches. And identification of strategies for inclusion of the informal business sector to improving service delivery.